Welcome to a new podcast where we're breaking through and breaking it down with a new girl. Your host, Dawn Piercy. Okay, I got it. Yay! So, thank you very much for being a guest on a new podcast. And for our listeners, I just want to say welcome to a new podcast. Tonight, I'm bringing you a guest that is from my hometown, Indianapolis, where I live. And I actually found him through a mutual friend. And he is a rapper and a singer and a pastor, a family man. And he has a hit song out called Right in Your Face. And and can you tell us about your journey? I know that you have been through a lot and come a long way and have a really positive, very, very positive word to spread. Tell us about you, Dale. Dale J. Evans.
Man, it's so much. It's so much about that, man. I don't even know where to start. But I will say this, that I'm from the streets. I grew up in pretty much here in Indianapolis, Indiana. Spent a lot of time down south too, but Indianapolis is my primary home. And I grew up in a neighborhood called Brightwood, and for years I just ran the streets, and we did what people before us told us was cool to do, or things that we should get into, and eventually we ended up getting into the drug game and selling drugs and using drugs, the whole nine. And but even going through all of that, I ended up losing a whole lot of family. I lost my father when I was 18. He was shot and killed. And that was pretty much the backbone of our family. So it was a rough situation. I knew pretty much, man, without him being there, which is he was the backbone of our family. Without him being there, man, it was just already go downhill. And a year later, my sister ended up getting killed. She stabbed 14 times in her bedroom. They locked my brother up for doing it. He went and did 10 years in Department of Corrections. He didn't do it. I think he felt like it was his fault, so he took responsibility for it. But he wasn't the one who did the crime or any of that. He loved my sister. My sister loved him. Matter of fact, that was one of the last conversations we all had together, and she was holding the same knife she was killed with when we had it. And one of the things she said is, "Have you ever noticed how we don't hurt each other?" And that spoke volumes to me. I believe that was God's way of letting me know that it was more to it than what was said. And so he said he did it, but even when the detectives questioned me for being there so long, they said that what I told them made more sense. And they still subpoenaed him. They subpoenaed everybody to come to court that day except for me, and I was there the longest that day. I was with them longer than anybody else was that whole day, and they wouldn't allow me to testify in court because they said pretty much I would mess up their case. So basically they let him go to prison without a care that he was innocent. And after that, my mother, she died from congestive heart failure. So, man, I was just pretty much, I was just confused and screwed up in the head a whole lot. And I just became hateful and bitter. And I didn't believe in God because, nobody could tell me God would let something like this happen.
Right.
To people, who I felt, in my opinion, didn't deserve it.
Right.
And I ended up going to jail a whole bunch after that, man. I just wilded out. I just started doing a bunch of crazy stuff, and I can remember this one particular time I ended up in jail. I picked up this book, and this guy shared his testimony, and it just really his name was Pastor Bumpus. He's one of my spiritual fathers. right now as
Mm-hmm.
well. And I read his book, and he shared his testimony about how, the things he did, and how God was using him. And and I wanted a connection with God. One of the things that kept me from a connection with God is every time I would ask somebody, man, why do God let things like this happen? One of the things people will always tell me is so he could get to you. And I just, I didn't see how my life was more significant than the next person's life. And it just, and then that made me, distant from God even more. And it wasn't until I read his book and I understood that it was a such thing as sin in the world, and that we just live in a fallen world, and nobody's exempt from the effects of it.
Right,
And
right.
that's what did it. It made sense to me after that. It began to click. And not only that, but that's why God calls people out and uses them in
Absolutely.
different communities and things like that, in different social arenas, and to be that light, and to inspire, help to others, so that's where it did it for me. And
Mm-hmm.
after that, man, I got out of prison, and I wanted to live right. And it took me a minute to catch on, but I didn't have to go back to prison in order to really sell out to God,
Right.
or some more to say. Yeah.
Well, you have such a powerful and inspiring message that I know it's a godsend to others to hear your word, because and to be able to also to be a pastor and to share the word of God in the community. And it's proof that no matter what you go through, no matter your trials
Right.
and tribulations, no matter what, that God does use you um, to be able to inspire, to motivate, and bring others to Him, and to
And
spread that. And I heard that in your music, and when I first listened to it, and I watched your video, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. And I watched another one, and that was before I had even, I think, interviewed Tiffany and even worked for her. So I was like, yeah,
wow.
he's good. I was like, and Nick was like, you need to have him on your podcast. And I was like, yeah, I do. How do I get in touch? He's like, send him a friend request. Tell him you know me. And I was like, okay. So
Hey, man, I love that, brother.
that
That's
was
my
that. And now, who growing up, okay, because you have such, you're a rapper and a singer, and it's nice to be able to see somebody do both. And who was your inspiration growing up, music
Mm.
wise, that gave you the imp to keep doing what you're doing now and to be so successful at it like you are?
um, I would have to say, man, probably my mother. She had such a beautiful voice, man, and she would sing to me all the time when I was little. I remember, and she had just a beautiful voice, man, and she had one of those voices that when she sung, that it would literally bring tears to her eyes, like it
Mm-hmm.
would do something to her, and I used to, and not only me, but like my sister. I still got a sister named Cynthia and a sister named Ida that's still alive. And my brother James, he's out of prison. He's living for the Lord and married.
Good.
Man, he's doing well now. But me and my youngest sister Cynthia, we was talking, and she used to tell me how she used to, walk up to the door when my mother
Mm-hmm.
would be singing, and would hear her, and she would, always ask her, like, why don't you sing more,
Right.
but just that gift she had, man, always inspired me. And I didn't get to hear her a lot. We would have to do stuff like that to hear her, sneak up on her while she was singing. And but it always inspired me. It just, I didn't want to hide my gift. I didn't want to, whatever her reasons was, for not allowing, even singing for God or whatever. She just
Right.
didn't sing, you know. It inspired me. But we also had good music that inspired us too. People like Marvin Gaye. Man, I used to love all his stuff. My father, he was a Sam Cooke fan, and not only that, but he listened to a lot of country music, and so I got it from all angles, man. It was and everybody was always around music, and music was just a big part of our lives. So that had a major impact on me. I understood music real well when I was young. So um, it's a lot of people who sow seeds into me as far as the music go.
Right.
I can remember being 16, going into Rephrase Studio, which is in Dayton, Ohio, and a guy named Gary King, who was an engineer for different groups like Midnight Star, Atlantic Star, and I would just listen to their ear and how they did music, and it just that inspired me. I wanted my music to be just as clear and crisp as theirs was, and so it became. I knew it was just more than to it than just picking up a mic and singing.
Yeah.
It was more to it.
It is. Absolutely.
So I think that's what I fell in love with, was the art of it, the building process of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a process. It took me quite a few months thinking about, before I did my podcast. And when I started learning about it, I had to learn how to run a studio. And I had to learn how to mix because I needed an opening. And I was like, well, who's going to do my opening? So I did my own opening. I did my own mix. I learned how to do it. And it's a lot of layers, and then you've got to cut and edit and do all that good stuff, and then but I mean, when it came down to it, it actually sounded pretty gosh darn good. And I did a couple of more mixes too for my countdown. I was like, 4-day countdown.
And it's good when you know what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what you want to hear. You like, man, that's not what I'm listening for.
Well,
I'm listening for something different.
I grew up playing the keyboards, and I tried the guitar. And my mom took my guitar and she threw it in the trash, Dale. She threw it in the trash and told me I sucked. Yes, she did.
That's all of night you kept her up.
So I started writing instead, okay? And art.
She said, I ain't gonna let you waste another minute of your or my time with this.
She said I hurt her ears. So but she did keep me in jazz dance and tap and gymnastics and martial arts, and they had me going to everything. But on the side, I wrote poetry, and my mom used to get so upset. She would take my poetry and she would give it to doctors and say, look at all this stuff she's writing. She don't need to be writing. So it made me want to write more because I needed a way to express my anger. And it was like, if I didn't do it productively within my poetry, I would hate to see where I would be today, because that was my outlet. And even though it was like the most twisted poetry, it was pure expression and art to me. And I was like, how could you throw that away?
Oh, Lord.
So, yeah, but I did end up writing one song for the Emerson, the theater. There was a local band back in the early 90s called Duct Tape. And I wrote a song for them, and it was more kind of like the death metal type rap song.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, I did that. But no, now I have a collaboration of over 30 years worth of writing that I'm working on. It's at the editors, putting it into a book. So I was like, I might as well do something with it.
Amen.
So, right.
That's good stuff, man. Hey, like I tell people all the time, music got me through a lot of stuff, man. Like, even just to like I said, to be a part of the process, it was something to do. And I'm glad I spent a lot of my time doing it, because there ain't no telling what else I would have been involved with if I didn't have that,
Amen. So. Yeah, and I'm gonna play one of your songs too. Now, can you tell us what albums you have coming out, what you've worked on, your latest album, if you've got something coming up. Can you tell our listeners where they
Yeah.
can go to follow and keep up with your latest work too.
Right. Really, right now, man, I've been social networking it a little bit. I'm really not hitting it as hard as I want to,
Mm-hmm.
or that I'm supposed to. That's coming, but just for a season, I just took a step back because I had musically,
Right.
I just came out of a contract with Ty Scott Loud, and great people, man. Ty Scott, period, man, just great
Mm-hmm.
people. I know them, all of them, man, are just they super good people. And when I got released from that contract, I ended up going into a distribution deal with DigiGoPath, which is part of Warner Music Group,
Okay. Okay.
which is Warner Music Group distribution. And so I had ended up going through that situation with them as well. And all of this is pretty much new to me. It's always been easy being just an independent artist,
Right.
but when you got to do things according to industry standard, it kind of makes you take a reserve. You step back a little bit because you want to get the whole circumference of things.
Right. Right.
And believe me, people, man, are not out here just throwing out the information and giving it to you. Like, I really literally had to dig to find out, more about the business and how it works, and what to do and what not to do, and how to do it, and the right seasons to do things in,
Right.
and just I just been under that learning process, so I really hadn't been putting out a lot of music. Now I put out 2 singles through Kingdom Way Central Music Group, which is my label, and I did the distribution through Warner Music Group. But I'm about to drop probably about 2 or 3 mixtapes as well. One I plan on dropping close to probably next week. And
Nice.
and it'll be free download, and I'm gonna have a couple of videos with some of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the one album that I'm working on, I plan on dropping that soon too, is Soul Therapy, and it's gonna be a pretty good album. I got a lot of good singers on there,
Mm-hmm.
man. A lot of good people I collab with, and I'm going to end up dropping that soon too as well. So I'm just trying to finish up this chapter. Most people can get with me on Facebook if you can. It's Dale's Living Proof, and that's at Facebook. Facebook.com/Dale's Living Proof. Or you can just put my name in, and both of my pages will come up. If you can't get on my personal page, because I'm over, I think I'm at 5,000 friends now. You can always go to
I'm glad I
my
got on there.
Yeah, for a minute, didn't nobody want to be my friend. It was like, man, you ain't doing nothing, man. We're gonna quit following you right now if you don't put nothing out. And so, but it's just been a process. God called me into the pastoral or apostleship, and man, I've really been wanting to do more in the community, and get out there and just see what kind of help the church can bring to the people.
Right.
A lot of times people feel like the church needs so much help that they don't get involved with the church because sometimes they need help, and we are supposed to be a positive and productive force in the community.
Right.
And so that's pretty much what my focus is. Like, how can the church get out here and help the community? How can we be a blessing to people? Sometimes it's not necessarily monetary need that people need. Sometimes they just need, to talk to folks,
Right.
and just be able to relate to somebody. And so that's kind of like put a hold on some of the music stuff for me too. But I got a couple of compilations coming out. I'm gonna go ahead and put out the one compilation, which is mixtape, which is Lord have mercy, Exclusive. That's what it's called, Exclusive. And then my guy Wallace, that's coming off the same label. He's a label mate with me. He's coming out with a mixtape too as well, and a video for that. So we're gonna be doing a whole lot more promotion on some of that stuff, so people will be able to go and get that stuff. But I already have music out on YouTube. YouTube,
Yep.
iTunes. You can find any of that stuff. If you go to my page, I always got links up to where you can go to and get the music. So
All right, nice. I'm going to play Right in Your Face for our listeners. This is
Amen.
Dale J. Evans.
Hey.
I'ma worship like a madman. Right in your face. And I'ma dance like David did. Right in your face. Prepare a table before my enemies. Right in your face. You can't get mad, but I'ma celebrate. Right in your face. Look, I'ma worship like a madman. Right in your face. And I'ma dance like David did. Right in your face. Prepare a table before my enemies. Right in your face. You can't get mad, but I'ma celebrate. Right in your face. Like Cleo, they ain't calling me now, but it's cool. I'm busy in the word, breaking it down. I got a lawyer in the courtroom that never lost a case. All I do is call on him. He don't never show his face. Nephilims ain't changed, man. They still accusing. But I laugh in their face, cause I know that they losing. Yeah, they upset and mad, but they know I ain't the one. You would think I'm gang banging the way I'm covered in the blood. Bought and purchased, yeah, I cost too much. My roots run deep, they can't be dug up. Hating me will be your worst mistake, cause I'ma demonstrate the kingdom power right in your face. I'ma worship like a madman, right in your face. And I'ma dance like David did, right in your face. Prepare a table before my enemies, right in your face. You can't get mad, but I'ma celebrate, right in your face. Look, I'ma worship like a madman, right in your face. And I'ma dance like David did, right in your face. Prepare a table before my enemies, right in your face. You can't get mad, but I'ma celebrate, right in your face. Okay, I put these haters on pause, and you ain't gotta wonder why I spit the gospel. You know Jesus the cause. I face many strongholds like a bear with his paws, but the Lord mighty in battle, demolish them all. I'm connected to the vine, from the root to the fruit, and it don't matter where I'm at, boy, the block of the booth. These streets can be a jungle, dog, something like zoology. Wolves and sheep clothing, gotta learn your dermatology. They fix themselves up, unreal like cosmetology, but I still plant and water them seeds, something like botany. I preach the kingdom, preparing for eschatology, and I only trust the mighty counselor, not your psychology. I'ma worship like a madman, right in your face. And I'ma dance like David did, right in your face. Prepare a table before my enemies, right in your face. You can't get mad, but I'ma celebrate, right in your face. Look, I'ma worship like a madman, right in your face. And I'ma dance like David did, right in your face. Prepare a table before my enemies, right in your face. You can't get mad, but I'ma celebrate, right in your face. Look, I'ma worship like a madman, right in your face. Oh, I'ma worship like a madman, right in your face. Yeah, I'ma worship like a madman, right in your face. Then I'ma dance like David did, right in your face. Oh, I'ma dance like David did, right in your face. Yeah, I'ma dance like David did, right in your face. Yeah, I'ma dance like David did, right in your face. Then I'ma worship like a madman, right in your face. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Dog, if you ain't scared, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Everybody get loose, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Girl, if you ain't scared, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Oh, I'ma worship like a madman, right in your face.
That was Right in Your Face by Dale J. Evans, straight out of Indianapolis, Indiana.
Yes, yes.
And you can hear that song on iTunes. You can also see it on YouTube, and that's Dale J. Evans. And
Yep.
he is
You
on.
can go to Tidal and listen to it too.
Yep. So, well, you need to be worldwide. You know that, right?
Hey, I'm
Everybody
working on
needs
this.
everybody needs to hear your music.
I'm working
It's
on
good.
this. Sis.
I know you are. I know you are. Yeah. So, well, it has been so awesome having you as a guest on a new podcast, and you'll definitely have to come back on sometime in the future.
Yeah, love that. Amen. We love that.
Absolutely. And so now you said that you had a couple of singles dropping soon, and where can everybody go to get those?
I know for a fact that I'm putting the exclusive mixtape on datpiff.com. So you'll be able to do that. And I know it's a couple other outlets. I'm not too familiar with them. I really haven't done many mixtapes in the past, but I'm about to start getting into doing more of them because I got so much music. And then me and Mr. Testimony, which is another label mate of mine, we got a mixtape coming out here real soon too. So it's gonna be a compilation between me and him. And that's gonna be real nice as well. So I would say just keep looking out. I got a song called and this is gonna be one of my major releases. It's called It's Official.
Okay.
And that's coming out soon. I'm actually in the process of working on a video for that and getting it out there. So
I'll share all your stuff too, so that way everybody knows that you'll be coming up as a guest too. And then of course, share your feature and everything like that. Now you'll be when we stream, we're gonna be on a new TV, and that's on a new podcast platform. So yeah,
Amen.
yep, yes it is. And this has been a new podcast.